Welcome or welcome back to Cooking with Frenchy, cooking and baking made easy. Another sweet recipe this week, a classic from English baking, I would say. It's a sticky date pudding. Oh yes, I know you'll love it. It's a fab here in Australia. You will see in every cafe and restaurant. It's very popular. So I have decided to share my recipe with you today, and we are going to use a different principle. We're not just going to bake, we are going to steam it. So something a little bit different for you. Now, before we start, I'd like to say that this recipe, it's really come from the 1960s, 1970s. Chef in England, Francis Coulson, developed this recipe in, I believe, Country Hotel, the in Sharrow Bay. So this is a little bit of history. It's always interesting to know where your recipes come from and how they arrive here on YouTube or in your own kitchen. So before we start, please don't forget to subscribe. Also change your notification bell setting. Like this, you won't miss any of my recipe or tips. Also, under this video in the description, you will find a link to my full printable recipe with step-by-step photos and instruction if you need more. So let's get started and let's bake or steam a storm in your kitchen. As I mentioned earlier, the way we are going to do the sticky date today, we are going to steam them. So I'm using a bamboo steamer and a large sauce pot with halfway the liquid because it's going to simmer or steam for about half an hour. To get some steam, we need the temperature of the water to get over 100 degrees. It releases the steam, and that will be our enclosed steamer chamber. So the first things I need to do is to make sure the water is going to boil. So I'm bringing that to the stove and let it boil. Once this is on the stove, I'm chopping, so I already pre-chopped my date a little bit. Make sure your dates are petite dates. Just chop them roughly. Watch out for your fingers. And here they are. Chopped dates. What I need to do too is to put my water into my saucepan, and I will boil this water, put the the dates into it, and add some bicarb. The bicarb is there to break down the dates a little bit further. So we make sure it really boils. Add your dates. Boil the dates with the water. You can see it's nice and boiling all over it. Turn up the heat and add your bicarb soda. Give it a little stir and look how foamy it gets. It's normal. And we are going to let that cool down a little bit. Perfect. Meanwhile, I can chop a little bit my nuts. My walnuts. like that. Also, one I can prepare, so in a larger bowl, I'm going to put my sugar, crack or egg, using a whisk, mix the sugar and the eggs well until it becomes a little paler. Just like that, it's enough. So now, what I can do is to add a pinch of salt, a little bit of vanilla essence, for it, and here my baking powder. I'm adding it to my flour, and here I'm gonna add a little bit of flour to my sugar and egg. Try to avoid lumps. A little bit more flour. As your batter becomes thicker, you can add a little bit of the milk. I'm going to add the remaining flour. And the rest of the milk. Oops. Just like this. Have a nice thin batter. I can add my walnuts, and my cool down dates. Look at that. I'm going to melt this butter in a microwave. Beautiful butter, and add the melted butter into it. Just make sure it's all well combined. There's no lumps of flour. And that looks ready to me. So now what I need to do is to grease my mold a little bit. So a bit of melted butter. Grease well around it. I'm going to use a spoon and fill my little plastic diode mold to just over halfway, nearly 2/3 of the container. They do raise a little bit through the steaming process and due to the baking powder. So they will get a little bit lighter and look spongy. Once you have done this, all you need to do is to avoid the steam to get back into it and make them too wet. So we just put a little bit of Glad wrap, a little bit of plastic, a little bit loose, don't need to be tight. Right. So we just do that for all of them, just like that. Once this is done, all you need to do is to place your little ring inside, wait for the water to boil, place the lid on top. You see it fits perfectly, nice height. And when it's ready, we'll steam it, for 30-35 minutes. We'll just check with the skewer when they are ready. See you later. Now that the water is boiling, I'm going to put my bamboo steamer on top of it. Just secure it. Sure you see the steam coming out. Put the lid on it. Reduce the heat. And let it steam away for about 30 minutes. 30 minutes, and let's check this out. Oh, look at that. So quick check. Skewers in. Skewers out. Looks clean. Skewers in. That looks clean. All right, we're gonna remove them. So first of all, we remove all the plastic. Look at this, nice. Very nice and spongy. And here, just to show you how I like to plate, whilst the pudding is still warm, still putting the knives through it, shake it a little bit. Look at that steam, very spongy, beautiful. Love that. It's a good indication. Here, my toffee sauce. Don't be shy on the toffee sauce, people love it. Look at that, just perfect. And here a recipe I will share soon, the raspberry coulis. Just to give a contrast of colors, with a little bit of crème anglaise, as you've seen already. Dots are in vogue, so why not? I'm using syringe from the chemist. Here a bit of micro herb, again for the contrast. Look at these desserts, look so festive and inviting. I just wish you could try it, but if you can't try it, you can actually make it. Look at that. Isn't it amazing? Bon appetit. Alright everyone, I hope you really enjoy that recipe, the steamed sticky date pudding. Beautiful with my toffee sauce, crème anglaise and a beautiful raspberry coulis. Again, look at those colors. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Well, one thing we're gonna do is to try it. Oh. Nice, 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 nice. Check this out. Check inside. Still steaming. Bon appetit. Like we said in France, it's little Jesus in leather pants. So good. Mmm. See you next time.